I wish to tell about medical problems and engineering solutions from mechanics point of view. The books concerned were S.L. Loni, Das and Mukherjee. Here I wish to amplify most about the most talked about and most suffered problem, that is the back pain. When we lie down on a bed, when we lie down in a very soft bed, the backbone doesn't get a reaction from the bottom. On a hard bed, it gets a reaction, and according to Newton's third law, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The weight of the backbone gets nullified by the reaction, which does not happen in the case of soft bed. The missing reaction causes the force or the weight of the weight, which is nothing but a force of the backbone, to be absorbed within the backbone. And the process is, and the result is, the links between two links, it gets compressed, and as long as it gets compressed to the extent that it gets relieved back, there is no back pain. But the moment it slowly gets compressed to the extent that it cannot retrieve itself to its previous position or the normal position, then the back pain starts, and it is so severe that the medicines are all phenomenal only, that they reduce the pain. There is not, it's almost an offset stage which cannot be retrieved. So the best thing is to avoid this as much as possible, and by that is only by knowledge. If you know it, that you should not sleep on very short bed, you don't get this problem. Once you get it, the problem is, I have seen people with very long beds and seen patients talking to orthopedics, L1, L2, the language, the jargon was entirely different. I was not able to understand what they were talking. The patient was telling, the doctor was sitting in front of my friend I. Chandrasekhar was talking about the L1, and the patient was telling L1, L2, L3, etc. And the jargon is so entirely different. So they get accustomed to the pain and they are living to it. And this is about the back pain, because the lack of reaction makes the element between the two links get compressed. And it is not getting back to its retrieving to its initial position. That is the beginning of the back pain. And I am an unknown author, but I came to know that the maximum number of books in medical field were sold on back pain in USA. Now coming to the pillows. In the whole day long position, the head is ahead towards the front side, face side, a little ahead of the end of the spine where it is ending. And if you are putting a pillow in the night, you are continuing this position, with the result that the neck muscle doesn't get the rest it requires. Having been day long in that position, if you remove the pillow, it goes down, giving the neck muscle the opposite position, that rest. If you put a single pillow or double pillow, extend that, the neck muscle gets extended to the extent the other side, and the neck instead of getting the neck muscle getting relieved, it gets strained. The further strain, and especially the air pillow people or double pillow people, it goes to the extent, then they get the what you call in the first stage cervical spondylitis. And if it goes beyond that, they call it a lumbar spondylitis. All these because of these air pillows, double pillows, and these are things which could have been avoided. Once in my sister's house in Bombay, when they were giving me a pillow, I said I refused the pillow. I was sleeping on the mat. Then my brother-in-law, who had learned this in B.K. Iyengar's class in USA, he told me, your brother knows this. I had been to Rishikesh, Swami Sivananda Ashram for 1 week, and the yoga said a little, I had knowledge that pillow is not good for spinal health or any health. And this day-long position gets continued when you use the pillow in the night. Remove the pillow, the next head goes down, the neck muscle gets the opposite movement of the rest with reference to the day-long position. So these are another thing. When we go down in a ship or a hatch ladder, they are vertical. Horizontal rods are there. You have to carry your whole weight on the hands. And as long as it is vertical, the whole weight is coming on the hand, the hatch ladder. Supposing any ladder, when it is get angular, your the force gets into two components. One is along that component and the other is perpendicular to that. So this breaking into two components helps in the process, and we can, when the ladder is angular, we climb it very easily. We climb down very easily. This doesn't happen with the vertical ladders. Same is the case with the very soft bed not having a reaction. The links get compressed. The material between the two links gets compressed, and when it goes on over the years, it gets compressed to the extent that it doesn't get retrieved, and then the pain starts. If it is for the daughter-in-law, the mother-in-law will say she is failing. If it is the other way around, they will say she is acting. All these problems start. The secondary problems start. But I know the pain when it starts, it is so powerful, and it shows on the face. So where does this? So what here? Absence of Newton's third law, that is the reaction. Here Newton is acting. When Newton is absent, the next thing comes Lenz's law. And energy can neither be destroyed nor be created. Here, the creation we are creating energy by mass into that aspect is now over because of the mass to energy conversion by new reactors. But here, what will happen to this downward force not having a reaction, nullifying opposite force? Then that very force acts along the. It has no space to go elsewhere, but go along the backbone itself and compress the backbone contents, and that is the reason of backbone when you sleep on very soft beds. So the problem with people would say, do you mean to say we should sleep on the plank only or very hard bed? It is up to you. If you want comfort, the artificial comfort or the comfort, you feel like comfort, the comfort will later on leads to problems. Any comfort that is leading to problem here. We should know the Tamil Nadu people, even very old people, they sleep on they simply roll the mat, sleep on the ground. They have two characteristics in their state. Evening, night food is not meals, full meals, but some tiffin like light food, and they sleep positively on the hard beds. That is one thing I found in Tamil Nadu. This is about the back pain, and other aspects. Now I am researching is and doing some things that are very outstanding, simpler than we think of. We think the problem will be very severe. Previously, when heart problems, people with heart problems, I used to think a motor might help them. But the ultimate circuit which helped the heart people for pulsating was pulse circuit, simple triangular waves. That's called pulse circuit, and that coincides with the so-called pulse of the human being. So what we think of a very great problem, sometimes the solution is very simpler than this. Similarly, now my next point is I have been researching bleeding control aspect of the ladies. In some ladies, post-period bleeding doesn't stop, even post-natal bleeding sometimes doesn't stop. Here the stop command is very weak. My idea was to give some help from the outside source, that is a micro DC source with a sensor signaling, taking the change of blood as the signal, and that signal, as is not sufficient power, is not getting the stop command is weak, to amplify that and give it to with a positive PNP transistor, that is source type. That source giving, as soon as the blood changes, that signal gets amplified with the transistor and gives to the brain, and it gives the stop command and the bleeding stops. This is the stage. I had sent this bleeding control circuit to the Lancet magazine, which initially they said we have decided not to publish it, but we are forwarding it to our interdisciplinary magazine, and the Helion, it got published there. That work is in progress, and sometimes the solutions are so simple, people override them. Similarly, this Parkinson's disease, simply holding a wet electrode might stop the shaking of the Parkinson aspect. If the body is heavily shaking, I requested one lady, my relation, to hold that, but she was thinking that she might get shocked. She was more scared and she refused that. aspect I am researching. This bleeding controller circuit I have been sent to, and is published in some books. In my Hindu book, in my book, कुछ भी सीखिए तंदुरुस्त रहिए, published by DP Diamond Pocket Books. The circuit is there, and it's a very simple circuit. Anybody can make it. Why I am getting it published is it is a very simple thing, and people might strike. The specifics will do for the I am coming not come to the specific values. For material we might use the already bio-friendly materials like pacemaker material, and even the transistor material would be of such things that would be good.